So now we slide into what is a packed news video today, or packed set of news videos today, I should say. And we jump in first with news on Money in the Bank, which Money in the Bank is set to take place on July the 1st. Live from the O2 in London. And if there's anything that anybody knows about Money in the Bank, it's that the Money in the Bank ladder match is the featured contest of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And right now, we have a set field for the men's Money in the Bank match, which includes Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest, LA Knight, Butch, and Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar and Damian Priest have been two of the more impressive inclusions, I would say, in this matchup alongside Butch. But Santos Escobar and Damian Priest have been presented in quite a unique fashion over the last year, with Santos getting the rub from Rey Mysterio, and Damian Priest impressing a lot of people with his work within the Judgment Day. So props to both of them for getting this opportunity. But if I had to guess, if I had to say, and I will say this now and I will say this on July the 1st, LA Knight, yeah, is the man that will and should leave the O2 in London with the case, because I think LA Knight is the one man that all of us want to see get the victory and become the Money in the Bank champion. Especially with the possibility now of LA Knight not facing the technicality of cashing in Money in the Bank and winning a title. He could cash in Money in the Bank and defeat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that is the benefit and the reason why WWE should never have unified the titles last year with Roman and Brock Lesnar. But either way, it is something that I think all of us will be looking forward to, because everybody knows that if there's one person in WWE right now that deserves the opportunity to call himself champion, it is LA Knight. Yeah. But that is not the only Money in the Bank match set to take place on July the 1st, as the women have their Money in the Bank match, which is also set to take place on July the 1st. And that Money in the Bank match will include Becky Lynch, Bayley, Io Sky, Zoe Stark, and Zelina Vega. Props to Zoe Stark for getting the opportunity this soon in her main roster run, as she just got called up via the draft earlier this year. So props to her for being featured in the way that she has been featured, and pretty much becoming Trish Stratus's protege since her debut on the main roster. And you have to figure that maybe Becky Lynch may not have finished business with Trish Stratus, or may have unfinished business with Trish Stratus, and that Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus may be the one standing in the way of Becky Lynch walking out of the London O2 with Money in the Bank. But as you may have noticed, there are 6 in the Money in the Bank match for the men, but only 5 I announced in the Money in the Bank match for the women. And the reason for that is basically the last person in the final woman that will complete the field has yet to be announced. And that is something that really isn't necessary right now, considering the fact that Money in the Bank is on July the 1st, and we're only on June 14th. But either way, it is still an interest. There is an interest of who could be filling up the field for the women for Money in the Bank. But if I had to guess now, I would love to see maybe one of Damage Control win Money in the Bank and become #1 contender for the Women's Championship. And also, I would love to see WWE allow the woman Money in the Bank holder to hold the Money in the Bank for longer than 24 hours or less than 24 hours and actually maintain their hold on the World Championship. I mean, on the briefcase, because frankly, that is something that WWE is guilty of far too often in this field, and that they need to understand that we want to see the women hold the title longer and not just keep the title for a short period of time. You know, basically do what you do with the men. Do what you do with the men with the women. Have them keep the case for longer and cash it in at a time that is not on Money in the Bank or the night after. But the big news coming out of today is that MMM, the Maximum Male Models, Mansois and Mace I mean, I don't really remember, but they have been repackaged they're going to be repackaged more than likely, as WWE has chosen to go a different way with Alpha Academy sticking together and Maxine Dupree joining Alpha Academy. It seems as though that is the case. So that is something that I think is a better decision, because WWE doesn't exactly have the depth in the tag team division to be breaking up tag teams. So the idea that they're not going to break up the tag team is actually beneficial for everybody in that picture, because it will allow the tag team division to keep one of their more popular tag teams, that being, of course, Chad Gable and Otis. Even though I think I stand by with everybody else that Chad Gable and Otis are two people that deserve a lot more victories. But no, the actual big news is that the exclusive window for WWE with media rights negotiations has closed. So Comcast and Fox are not having exclusive negotiations with WWE anymore to maintain Raw and SmackDown on the USA Network and Fox respectively. But Disney is one of the many companies that have re-entered the fray as interested parties in WWE, and it is not where WWE would go to the more likely home of ESPN. It is where WWE would go to the home of scripted other TV shows an unexpected home, that being FX. I didn't even know FX was owned by Disney, but I guess FX was brought on. Actually, yes, FX was brought on to Disney's properties after the Fox purchase in 2019. But either way, FX would be the home of WWE if Disney did get the media rights deals for SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. But that is an interesting turn of events, as I don't think anybody expected Disney to jump in the fray. But also, apparently, Amazon and Apple are still in the do have interest as well. There is a possibility that Warner Brothers Discovery could have limited interest. If Warner Brothers Discovery did land the media rights deal for WWE, they'd be the home of wrestling, because they would have 5 hours from AEW and then 6 hours from WWE. So that would be a crazy, crazy turn of events if Warner Brothers Discovery did also land WWE's media rights deals as well, which I highly doubt that to be the case. But this is not to rule out the possibility of Fox and NBC Universal continuing with WWE and landing the media rights deals. It is just right now that the exclusive window has closed for WWE to negotiate with just Fox and NBC Universal. And also, I just want to put out there right now that if you want to look forward to something next Monday night, Logan Paul returns to Raw next Monday night. After this is his first appearance, this will be his first appearance with WWE since WrestleMania and since re-signing with the company following WrestleMania back in April. With that being said, though, that is it for the news, and I will see you in the next news video.